Good evening, everybody. My name is Kayla, and I am with National Training Truck Driving School. We do have a special guest tonight. His name is Chuck. He works with Schneider. We're going to get to him in just a few minutes. I would like to thank you all for joining us this evening. I see a great list of folks on tonight. We're going to go through a few things, and then we'll actually pass the mic over to Chuck and let him tell you guys all about Schneider as a company. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. Bear with me for just a second. Let me get this going here. All right, so just a little bit of housekeeping while a few more people are logging in. Everybody, you can be joining us via your smartphone, your tablet, your desktop, or even your laptop computer. So we're going to go over a few of the controls quickly with you. Number one, you're going to see your microphone. Everybody now is in the listen-only mode. So later on, I will open up the microphone so you guys have the opportunity to ask questions. Number two is you're going to see the green hand icon. If everybody can go ahead and please raise that hand, that way I can know that you hear me. We're not having any issues there. Kelvin, thank you so much for raising yours. Abdul, thank you as well. Right, I see a few more going up. And then I can go ahead and click one little button and everybody's hands go back down. So if I am going too fast or you would like me to elaborate a little more on a topic, feel free to click that hand icon. That way I can touch base a little bit more on that particular topic. And then number three is your question box. If you have questions and you're having an issue with your microphone or things of that nature, if you want to ask something so you don't forget your question, you can type it right there into the chat box and I'll be happy to answer those for you. Just a little bit of information about who we are at National Training. We were incorporated in 1978 as a proprietary post-secondary vocational education institution, committed to providing strong curricula with programs that emphasize practical, usable skills blended with a relevant general education foundation. We have a caring environment with personal attention and close faculty-student interaction with an open-door admission policy. We are Florida's oldest private truck driving school. We have a state-of-the-art training facility with a 1.25-mile multi-lane highway that ensures a safer, more efficient training. We've graduated over 40,000 students since 1978. You might find yourself asking this question: why drive a truck for a living? Simply put, job security. Speaking of job security, I would love to invite Mr. Chuck to join us and tell us a little bit about his company, Schneider. Let me get their website pulled up over here. Okay. See what we're talking about here. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Chuck.
Oh yeah, I'm glad to be here. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and I'll dig into the company, and just I'll field questions. I guess I saw the box here. I'm relatively new at the WebEx and the web presentation, so bear with me, Kate. I'm gonna have you steer this ship whenever you need to. So I started an organization in 1997 after leaving active duty Marine Corps, and gosh, this April would be 25 years. So I committed to doing this whole truck driving thing for a year, and I think I got addicted to it. I spent time as a company driver. I've owned 2 trucks. I've spent time as a CDL instructor, a classroom instructor, and then prior to becoming a field recruiter, I was a regional safety manager. So I was traveling all over the region, actually all over the country, practicing the safety and managing. And the reason why I say all those jobs and hats that I've worn, I have a lot of people at Schneider have done the same thing. They started off, grabbing a steering wheel and driving, and then progressed and moved up to management. So really, I was told the sky is the limit, and I really wasn't looking for this career, but it kind of landed in my lap, and I really love to share the whole experience that I've had. So Schneider has been around since 1935, so that's 87 years now. The guy sold his family car and bought a truck, and really the rest is history. this past year, I think we exceeded $5.6 billion in revenue. That was in 2021. And just other numbers that I could put out there. Yeah, there's a little timeline of the company. That's Al Schneider and his first truck. But, you know, we drive about 9.3 million miles per day. We have a little over 12,000 company drivers, a little over, or close to 10,000 company trucks, almost 40,000 trailers, about 3,000 owner operators. So, I mean, we're just a really large company. We were privately owned up until about 5 years ago. We went public. I believe the family still owns the controlling share, so it's still a very, very family-oriented company. Very open, and I guess that's the biggest thing. As large as this company is, it's open door. It's been the family values from the Midwest. You know, they've spread all over the country. Yeah, and our footprint is huge in the Southeast now, and I'm not sure exactly, Kayla, where our audience who we're talking to, but in Georgia, Northeast Florida, all over every state, and we're in Canada and Mexico as well. We have a very large footprint in this region of the country. So, oh gosh, we do everything from van truckload, right, dry van, in Jacksonville, Atlanta, and the South. Our whole country is intermodal, which is the railroad. We work hand in hand with CSX here in the Southeast, Norfolk Southern. We're big in the West. I think we're the primary carrier for Union Pacific on the West Coast. So, and we've been doing the intermodal part for about 30 years now. We expect to double the size of our intermodal here in the next 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really, really big. And I know I personally was a intermodal driver regionally and local when I lived in the Atlanta market. Currently, I'm living in Savannah, which is obviously big with the ports and other dedicated accounts. So other lines of business that we follow, and I'll get you to pull up the Schneider Jobs here. I don't know if that's the Schneider Jobs page there. Yeah. So, you know, there's so many different jobs, and everybody asks me every time I talk to school, you know, how much do you pay per mile? Well, what job do you want? So you can put a zip code in there where it says truck drivers, Kayla. There you go. Pick a zip code. Yep. And so there you go. And when that's, what is that? Green Cove Springs. All right. So there's 19 different jobs there. And just about every one of them where it says all CDL holders and every box there, those are for brand new drivers or any driver. The one about the third one down you see there is a flatbed, a Vericon account, which is what's that, top drivers 94,000, 3 months. So I mean, 3 months experience. Most schools last around 2 months or a month or 2 months. So 3 months doesn't take any time to build experience. I mean, the leverage is in a newer driver's field right now. Do me a favor, put in, I don't know, again, the market that we're looking at or talking to, but just put Atlanta in there, for example. It's 30303. I even put Miami's in a while ago, and we saw a lot of those. So it really depends on where you live. The market changes, and this changes daily on our Schneider Jobs page. You can filter everything out between local or regional. Your time at home being, this one's, a lot of them are weekly or every other day. You see there for our team or tanker drivers, but there are like a regional one there that's regional intermodal. What's that in Atlanta? Close to 100,000. That's pretty good. You're home weekly. So I mean, it's really just so much going on. And the cool part with Schneider, and this is what I tell all the students in every class that I visit, you pick a job, you do it. Let's say, for instance, you decide you want a team, you're new, you want to get out there and enroll with someone else, and it's just not your cup of tea. You can transfer. You'll hear about jobs that might not even be on this job page yet. Transfer, keep your benefits, transfer to something different. So it truly is. It's just, I know it sounds cliche, but Schneider really does hire you to retire you, and I'm living proof. There's so many people that came through my classes that have moved on from driving and started managing and moved up into middle management roles. So And people stay in trucking. I mean, it's just, heck, I keep a CDL in my pocket. I'll never give it up. It's just such a wonderful, wonderful career. It's recession proof. It's, it's just, I don't know. There's so much I could tell you. I know I'm limited in time, but yeah, our benefits at the company, I'll dive into that just a little bit. We're United Healthcare. We have 401k. It's through Principal, which I believe is formed by Wells Fargo. Our vacation time, 6 months in, you get a week's vacation. After 1 year, you get 2 weeks vacation. That's relatively new. I'll tell you, our training, Schneider has a reputation for many years as being a premier training, and I'm not just because I was a trainer, but we continue to train. And that gentleman you see there on top, he's wearing a tan shirt. Behind him is a simulator that we use. Training never stops, and it's kind of like I equate it to the pilots. Every year they go back to a simulator and they practice things. So training never stops at Schneider. I mean, this is what puts us over the top, I believe, from a lot of companies that really gives us the edge and safety and that part. Safety is our number one core value. So it's just, and coming from the aviation community, that's probably what led me to the company. Is our way we train, and the type of training we do is so structured. Women in trucking started with Schneider. I know that's a relatively new thing on the market. We have a couple of trucks that are wrapped out there. There's a group. Thank you. Women in trucking actually started with Schneider. An executive that we had, Ellen Boyce, she started that group. Of course, we've been with it. I think 13% of our driving fleet right now is women, and that's to include a lot of our trainers. That's Kaylee up there that you just passed by. She lives in the Savannah area. Of course, she started about, I think, in 2018. 2021 was our highlighted driver, of course. But so we have a lot of women. We hire a lot of military as well. About 15% of our driving fleet are veterans. If you're a veteran and you come here, regardless of your MOS, we'll give you, if within 12 months you start at Schneider, we'll give you 1 year of seniority. If you come from a driving job, which is equivalent to a CDL type job, or 88 Mike, if you will, in the Army, we can work with you and give you, let's say you had 8 years behind the wheel in the Army, we'll give you 8 years of experience here. We'll also work with you, get up to $1,400, a little over $1,400 a month, working with the VA for a whole year. So on top of your driving pay, we'll give you the VA will actually, the government will give you $1,430 a month, I believe, on top of what you earn per mile. So Al Schneider, the founder of the company, was a veteran, and his first few drivers he had here were veterans. And there's the Ride of Pride truck. We're getting ready to get I think our 12th or 13th edition. I'm proud to say I drove the 2013 year. I was nominated and drove that military truck around the country, representing the company and my fellow veterans. So again, we're big with the military, and we're industry leaders in a lot of ways, a lot of innovations and things that we've done. So I did put, and just in case, Kayla, I put some information on the chat there. I put my email and my a little bit of information. Yeah. I think it went through.
Fantastic. I'll make sure that it goes through to the rest of the audience here. I think it just came through to us.
Okay.
Put that in there.
So thank you. There you go. Yeah, it's my email and phone number. I guess I didn't do to all. So, again, to not understanding the audience that we have, but just say you're a brand new driver and you get your CDL through this great school, and Schneider partners with schools like this one. We have our own academy. It's not as big as it was before. We started relying on a lot of private schools and technical colleges, but we're pretty selective on it. And rightly so. I mentioned we're safety is our number one core value. Our training never stops here. So wonderful schools like this we value, and Again, I make my visits there and I observe things and just, I'm excited when I get around the driving ranges and see the training going on. But our training, when you come over, it's training / orientation. It's paid training. So you get your CDL from this school. You you pick a job on SchneiderJobs.com, go to the school. If it's tanker, it's a little bit longer, but most schools are 18 days paid orientation training. 6 days of the training, you're actually out on the road with a trainer or training engineer, we call them, and then you're out there on your own. And it's not a hurry up and just get you out there. It speaks volumes on the type of training that we have. It also speaks volumes on the type of training that this school, produces. So after your time out on the road with your training engineer, you come back, you do your skills assessment, and then down the road you go. You're never alone. There's 24-hour support. For new drivers, the first 90 days you're out there. Someone's helping you out till you get up to speed, and it doesn't take long. There's just so many different support avenues for you out there. So yeah.
That's wonderful.
Again, yeah. So I mean, and just like this page that we're looking at here now, Schneider Jobs, there's so much information out there. There's so much. Again, Schneider is probably one of the largest carriers in North America. And I mentioned earlier, just because we're that big, we're very, very small when it comes to the areas you work in. For example, and we have, forgot to mention this, dedicated accounts. And then this on your job thing there. Dedicated means you're dedicated to certain customers, and I'll speak on Savannah area. We have Target, so you would work for Target. You would haul Target freight to and from their stores. We have that available. Here also in this area, we have Floor and Decor. You name it. I think about 2/3 of the Fortune 500 companies out there we haul for. And that includes, of course, Walmart. That includes, you name it. Schneider's going to have their fingers on it. All the automotive industry. It's been a learning experience for me. It's eye-opening, just how big we are and how involved we are with the economy in this company. So, but back to what I was saying, how small it is. The groups that you work for, that you're assigned to, they know you. They know your family. They know people in your family's name. They know things about you. A lot of those people that actually manage the drivers here at Schneider, or like me, they've got windshield time. They've done it. They understand it. Hands down, the best people to manage drivers are people that have been out there, and we have a lot of them in the office around here. So, gosh, thank you for showing me that picture there. Our tanker division, yeah, that's huge. That's growing. We've been doing that for a while now. And I say this, and I'm a little bit jealous, as that is one of my biggest regrets. I've done the bulk training, but I never did drive. I wish I would have done the tanker. But as an experienced hire, doing the orientation for the experienced hire classes, my best drivers, period, were tanker drivers. And I challenge anybody, all these schools I go to, hey, get your tanker, man, do it. I say if you haul a tank and you get involved with that, you can go anywhere. You can go absolutely anywhere in this industry, especially with Schneider. And again, to brag a bit about our training, that training is about 2 weeks longer than our regular other divisions, say van or intermodal, obviously for what we're doing. Our equipment, there you go. You're showing some pictures of our equipment technology. Our trucks are about 3 years old. We're all automatic fleet now. Last year was, I think we finally phased out our 10 speeds, but all our trucks, all our regional and over the road trucks have the APUs or auxiliary power units, so you don't have to run the main engine for heat and air conditioning. Refrigerators, they have flat screen TV mounts, you name it. They really spec these trucks out now. It's so nice. Like that clip there is our tablet that we use for our electronic logging. Just so many. We even have mirrorless trucks. So about 200 trucks. They've taken the mirrors off and they've got cameras, and they use these tablet type things come in on the A-pillars inside the truck. So they have warning, lights and buzzers, and they pick up extra light at night or low light situations. We haven't had one problem yet. They have spare cameras with them, so it really opens up that field of view, if you will. When you're looking out your window, you don't have this giant mirror blocking you. So there's a video, you put your cursor on it right there. You don't have to click on it, but there's so many videos on. Yeah, that's kind of the new thing now. There's about 200 and something trucks we have. So if you go to like YouTube videos, you could go to Schneider Jobs and then click on videos. You can search all these. They're like 2 or 3 minute videos like this one. Marketing does a really good job explaining all this. Yeah, that's
pretty cool.
Yep.
I hadn't seen that yet out on the road, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Like I said, we got a little over 200 of them now, and they're coming. And a company of our size, we're talking 12,000 company trucks, or about 10,000 company trucks. Every 1/10 of a mile per gallon saved is, I forget, like $7 million a year or something. It's some extraordinary amount of money. So obviously we do things like that. Plus, like on that picture there, you see the big mirror. It blocks a lot of your view. So we took the mirror out and put the cameras on there. So safety. We have what they call on-guard system on our trucks. So it has a radar system. It literally picks up the car in front of you. That's our Dallas facility. It's like 1,100 parking spaces there. Yeah. So we put a lot of emphasis on, of course, safety and on our equipment. That map right there is showing you our large operating centers across the country, our OCs. We have probably hundreds in between that are secure lots, that are secure lots for remote viewing, like cameras you pull in. But these are our large operating centers that we have around different places around the country. Actually, where a lot of our training's done. They have restaurants. They have obviously fuel and maintenance. We have company cars. So say you're out of hours and you can't drive your truck somewhere to get something to eat, or the restaurant and the operating center is closed, you get in the company car and you bounce over to wherever, fill up your refrigerator for your truck. So they look out for the drivers here. There's no bulletproof glass between the operation folks and you. You come in the operating center, you are the CEOs. They know who keeps the lights on around here, and it's us that holds the CDL. So again, it's just I've done it for 25 years now, and I'd love to tell my story. And it's I want anybody and everybody to come join us. It's we're a pretty good success story.
That's great. So let me ask you a couple questions here. As far as benefits that the company provides to their drivers, 401k, insurance, I'm going to assume that that's something that Schneider offers to all of their employees. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. Well, actually on the 401k, we match 6%. You could put more than that, but Schneider will match 6% of the employees' income, that they put in there. Right. Absolutely. And as far as the medical part goes, it really depends on. There's a lot of information out there on that too. Again, we're United Healthcare. Depends on what you want. Low deductible, high deductible. There's healthcare savings accounts that roll over every year, so you can just keep building up. Yeah, it's really nice. Teledoc, so you don't even have to go in an office. They diagnose you from. You can call up on your computer, your phone. I'll just use pink eye, for example, and an hour later, your Walgreens picking up and it doesn't cost anything. It's part of your plan. So
nice. Very good. So we talked about that a little bit. You guys offer, as we've kind of discussed, that dry van, intermodal, tanker, a little bit of something for everybody. So it really does seem like it's a great opportunity for especially those inexperienced drivers who might not know what route they want to take yet, and they can kind of figure that out with you guys to then grow with you as a driver with the company.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's, again, if you did listen, and we do have flatbed too. There's a couple of dedicated flatbeds down in our area here in the Southeast. But let's just say you picked flatbed, you did it for a while, it just wasn't your cup of tea. You can transfer to another division, literally in the cab of your truck. You transfer, you make some phone calls, you keep your benefits. Don't lose your, it's like a company within companies. There's just so much variation, so many things you won't be bored. It's not cookie cutter here.
Absolutely. That's a great way to put it. So now I'd like to open up the phone lines so that those of you who are listening in tonight can ask some questions yourselves as well. So go ahead and raise your hand if you have any questions. Be happy to call on you. Or if you're having an issue with the microphone situation, you can definitely type your question into chat and I'll be happy to answer it for you. All right, I did get a question here. As far as the women in trucking, whenever a woman comes into as a new driver, do they get placed with a female trainer or is it with a male trainer?
On the road, it could be either or. You would not stay in the truck with it. I'm just use the training engineer element of it. So when you're out on the road, you would not stay in the truck. If it were a male, you would not stay in the truck with that person. Obviously, one would get the hotel, another one would have the truck. But again, our female fleet has really increased, and we have a lot of trainers. We have a lot of people in house in our schools that are females. So yeah.
Good question. Okay, what about home time? As far as the different, I know when we were looking at the job board on there, but they were asking about home time. So there's different options. Is that right?
Yes. So yeah, when you look at that Schneider Jobs page, you put on there, there's a segment that'll say home weekly. That means you're probably home once, maybe twice a week. There's another segment on there. It'll say multiple times per week, or then it'll say daily if you have a daily job, local job available.
So
yeah, I mean, teams, even a team, and I'll say that I forgot to mention, we do have a team division. Any company we talk to, team is where it's at. That's where the money, real money's at. If you scroll down, you'll see teams. They're all 6-figure jobs, and that's per driver in the cab, and they're all, you get the bonus, this $20,000 sign-on bonus, and that one's every other week. So, just to give you an example, so yeah, it really depends on what you want. There's that regional tanker truck driver there, home weekly. There's jobs here in the Savannah market that I speak on a lot, is, home multiple times a week, meaning you probably live near the interstate. You're going to be in and out of the house taking your break. So you're technically, off duty taking your break on a dedicated type run, Target, for example. So yeah, home time is it varies.
Okay. Daniel asked if you guys have a pet policy.
Excuse me. Right now, only teams are allowed to have pets, and I get this question a lot. I'm hoping soon, because we have been talking about this behind the scenes in different meetings. Schneider's not one to act fast on a lot of things. We kind of observe, and I don't know if it's a safety issue, whereas, if you have a team, somebody can take care of the pet if there's a problem. But right now, teams are the only ones that can have the pets. Obviously, owner-operators that are solo have pets, but as far as our company division, no, we do not yet. Fingers crossed they will.
So kind of along the same lines of this, Mike asked if there is a rider policy, if they can bring like their spouse or their kid along with them for.
Yeah. As long after 6 months, they want you to have 6 months on your own, still learning, right? We never stop training, still never stop learning. After 6 months, you can have, if it's your child or grandchild, immediate family, can be 10 years old or older. Anyone else has to be 18 years or older. The only exception to that is some of the bulk or tanker jobs. Some of the refineries, some of these chemical plants, they don't even let the driver in. They'll they park certain. So there's just, that could be the only, and that doesn't limit it. I mean, it doesn't mean you wouldn't be able to do it tanker driving, but yes, we do have a rider policy. You just have to let someone know and off you go. So it's kind of nice to share the road out there with family. It's definitely an experience.
Absolutely. And then one last question that I got in here. Elroy said he had a felony of 4 years ago. Is he able to get hired with Schneider?
I say apply. You know, we all make mistakes. Just, you know, 4 years is significant time away from that. And I will tell anybody to apply, and they go from there, because we have what I call them in-house recruiters, people that are behind the scenes. There's exceptions to everything, and then there's, I say apply. Just apply and go for it. Don't be afraid, feel like you're hung up. Just apply.
Okay, wonderful. So kind of treat it like a case by case scenario.
Absolutely. Again, we have people that have had felonies that are hired. Again, it's I hate that the label's out there. But people again make mistakes. We actually have CDL programs in a lot of prisons right now. Right? They're in prison to be reformed. But yes, apply. Don't let it deter you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Chuck, for joining us this evening. I really appreciate your time tonight. If I get any more questions for you, I'll send them your way. Otherwise, in the chat, everybody, we did put Chuck's email address in there, as well as the phone number for them at Schneider. Feel free to reach out with them with any further questions. But thank you so much, Chuck, for joining us tonight.
Oh, thank you, Kayla. It was a good time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we'll see you here at the school very soon.
Yes, I'll be there soon.
All right. Have a great rest of your evening.
You do the same. And thank you.
Thank you. All right, everybody. So we're going to keep this party rolling on just a little bit longer. We're going to go over some more things about the school itself here. So our trucks, we've had thousands of drivers that have had their very first truck driving experience in our trucks, whether they've ever sat in the cab of a tractor trailer, if they've ever even been up close to them. We've had people of all walks of life who've never even been near a tractor trailer experience it for the first time here at our school, with our cab over engines, with sleepers, conventional condos, sleepers, and day cabs all on site here. Now we kind of touched a little bit on what the inside of the trucks have, but most of the trucks, you're going to have your sleeping area. Most of those will fold into a table for you to use. Storage, of course, for all of your belongings. Then you're going to have your cockpit area of the truck itself, with your shifter and your comfort seat. You want to make sure you're comfortable, because you are going to be sitting there a lot of the time. A lot of the times that co-pilot seat will swivel around and turn, so you can use it as an additional seating area. Most of the trucks are going to come with your microwave, refrigerators, TVs. Some of them have satellite dishes, things of that nature. Different driving jobs. You can haul freights of all kind having a CDL Class A license. Remains primarily in a specified area of the country on those dedicated routes in those regional areas. Also, most companies are going to offer weekly home time, great pay, steady runs, and company benefits. Driver pay scales. This is based off of the 2019 to 2020 Bureau of Labor Statistics. So this, I honestly, in my opinion, and what I've seen here come out of the school and our alumni who have reported back to me, is this is even on the very low end of things. It's a great starting point, but even to be more realistic, you're looking at probably $55,000 to $60,000 just to start out as a CDL truck driver in your first year. School qualifications. National training will review your driving record, your criminal background, physical abilities. We're going to administer a drug screen on the very first day of school, and most importantly, we want to know your intensity to succeed. We ensure that you can benefit from our training program before you start, and we do that by finding out if you are employable. Just some truck pictures here that we have. We have a 4-week residence hands-on training. We have a 350-acre campus. We have this wonderful 1.25 mile private 2-lane highway where you're going to learn how to drive that tractor trailer before you ever make it out to the public road. We want to make sure that you are efficient enough and safe enough to do so. We as well have a state-of-the-art simulator similar to what Schneider was describing in their facility. We utilize this with every class. It's a great tool. We've also found with the studies that 1 hour on a simulator is equivalent to 4 hours of hands-on training. So it's a great tool and resource to have. Our career services, we have a placement process. We've been perfecting our graduate to work program for over 43 years, and it really does work. Our career service department starts working with the students on the very first day of resident training school. We use one-on-one private counseling sessions to direct our students to companies that would be a good match for both the company and the student. In addition to Chuck with Schneider, we have probably 8 or 9 additional companies that we do bring into the school to talk to each of our students. We also have a public job board, truckschool.com/jobs, where we post weekly, if not daily, new job leads and opportunities in the trucking industry. You might ask yourself where you're going to stay if you come to our school from out of town. You can stay anywhere you want, but if you're looking for the best deal, we suggest the Green Cove Springs Inn. It's located about 7 miles from the training grounds. Every room is equipped with a microwave, refrigerator, free cable with HBO, and free Wi-Fi. They do have special rates at the Green Cove Springs Inn for our students. Our students, for a double occupancy room, which means you're rooming with another one of our students, so your classmate, is $902 for 4 weeks. Breaks down to about $34 a night. Or if you're looking for a private room, single occupancy rooms are $1289 for the 4 weeks. Cost, fees, and financing of the school itself. The tuition for the program is $7,495. We do offer many types of financing, whether it be outside financing like your banks and credit unions. We work with workforce, vocational rehab, the Veterans Affairs, TAA, income share agreements, more specifically MIA shares, who we work with, as well as some in-house financing and tuition reimbursement, which most companies that come here do offer to those students. After all, we've been doing this for a very long time. It's all good. We have it all. We have the companies and the jobs. We have the industry recognition. We have impeccable governmental relations. We have guaranteed tuition financing for everyone. We have 38,000, actually it's over 40,000 graduates that came possibly before you. We have a program that is really fun to complete. We have an awesome training facility. We do appreciate the students from the Department of Veterans Affairs Programs, Department of Vocational Rehab, State Vocational Rehab Programs, State Workforce Programs, and the Bureau of Indian Affairs. National training is where the trucking companies come for new drivers. As I stated, we have about 10 different companies that come and talk to each of our classes, wanting to give you information about opportunities that await you in the industry. At this time, I'd like to offer the phone lines to anybody who has any questions. So if you do, please raise your hand. I'll be happy to call on you. Any questions at all? Don't be shy. While you guys have an opportunity to raise your hand or type that question into the chat, I'm going to go over a few special announcements with you. Our next truck webinar is actually going to be next Tuesday, May the 3rd at 6:30. And that day we will have Covenant Transport's Frank Bradley with us. We also have our next open house event on May 7th. That is a Saturday, and it takes place from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Thank you all for attending our webinar this evening. I greatly appreciate you joining us tonight. Contact your representative or our admissions office first thing tomorrow. You can do so by calling 1-800-488-7364. Your lost time is costing you big money. It's all good, just make sure you call. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight. You can sign off the webinar by going to File, Exit, Leave Webinar. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I look forward to seeing you hopefully next week. Give us a shout here at the office and we'll be happy to help you out. Our local number is 904-272-4000. Again, to get out of the webinar, you're going to go to File, Exit, Leave Webinar.
There's some more copies.